Hey y'all, it's Brian with Chesapeake Angler and Maryland Fishing Line. It's blowing pretty hard out here today, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to get some work done on the boat down here in the barn. And along the way, I thought it might interest everybody to see some of the things that I've added to and some of the modifications that I've done to my Old Town Topwater 120 PDL. One of the first things you might find interesting is the garage cart that I built for the boat to live in the garage. My challenge during this coronavirus was to put it together with materials just I had on hand in the barn, some 4x4s, some other various assorted 2x4s, pieces of wood, and some casters. I built this at the perfect height to roll right up to the back of my Toyota Tacoma and drop it right in the bed of the truck on top of my Boondocks T-bone. Works out great. I think I've got some PVC you might be able to see up underneath there that the boat runs on, so as to provide some support across the entire structure of the boat. Really didn't attack this with any plans, just kind of hacked at it and put pieces together, and it seems to be holding just great. One of the first things I did, moving from the bow to the stern, this 4-inch piece of Yak Attack gear track with one of their camera mounts. I think that'll be a unique angle coming up from the bow of the boat. I don't think I'll use this mount all the time, but it's here and I have the opportunity to use it. And when I'm not using it, I just fold it out of the way. It's real easy. Over here on the right hand side of the boat, I've got my Lowrance Hook 2.5 mounted to a ram mount with some Yak Attack through holes. I take my wiring in. I store my battery up in the bow. I added a Yak Attack retractable gear retractor, Yak Attack Omega rod holder. Love these things. They're very easy to adjust. They also come off of the boat really easy as well. So if you're deciding you don't want that in the way, you just flip your switch and off it comes. Very, very easy. The other things I did here in the cockpit, I went online on one of the Topwater Facebook groups and found a guy that makes these inserts for where the pedal drive drops through. I put a leash cord on it so that I don't lose it because this doesn't float. But if I'm ever in an opportunity where I need to fish some shallow water and I don't want that hole there to drop anything through, I can pull this up, slide it behind my seat, it's out of the way, slide it back, lock it in place just like the drive. Combine that with sometimes if I'm really in some marshes and I'm not going to be using my pedal drive, I can unsnap it and I'll turn it around, and that gives you a whole lot more room in your cockpit of the boat. And it's a really easy thing to do. Really simple to just take your drive, flip it around, drop it back in place. I like to store the boat like this so it takes some of the pressure off of the drive. The drive actually sits on this plate as opposed to dropping through the hull or having to sit by supporting itself. It takes a little bit of that wear off. And here's a little seat riser hack that I put together. Just a couple of pieces of 2x4. And then I jigsaw cut that plane out, that piece right there. Sets right in and gets you about another 2.5 inches on the back end of the seat. And the straps, when they go over the seat, hold them in place just fine. I've fished with this numerous times. The seat never moves, doesn't impact stability. It's a really simple, cheap hack if you want to raise that seat up a little bit if that's something that bothers you. I like the higher seat position in the back because my knees, it's easier to stand up. I'm a big guy, 6 foot tall, so it's a little bit easier for me to get leverage to stand up from a higher position than it is from the lower position. So you can see you just put one on each side, and then when the straps are on the seat holding it in, no problems at all. Probably one of the biggest investments we made so far was putting the Boondocks Groovy landing gear on the boat. Just love the opportunity to have the wheels attached to the boat when you're down on a ramp. So mounting the landing gear right behind the seat allowed for the H-bar to not run through the back of my boat, did not interfere with my milk crate for my rod holders and my tackle storage. What I did, it comes with a backing plate, it's a 1/2-inch piece of UMHW. You cut that to fit underneath the boat to make it flush against the hull. Then I took another 3/4 inch piece of UMHW that I got off of Amazon and cut that to fit the top of the boat to allow those two pieces to sandwich the hull and distribute the forces that the Groovy, that the landing gear applies to the hull as widely as possible. The nice side benefit of that is with this 3/4 inch piece, it allows my rudder control to swing clearly underneath of the landing gear. The other things I did was on both sides of the boat, added this 12-inch Yak Attack gear track. I don't know what we'll put back here, but it's nice to have an extra set of tie downs if I wanted to put a cooler back here behind my milk crate or just about anything. Maybe a camera mount. I could put a tie down to make sure my landing gears stay secure. There's all types of opportunities and things that you could use an extra gear track for. You can never say you have enough gear track. Then probably the last thing is the boom pole, the camera boom from Yak Attack. You can see that. You've already seen that in use in some of my videos. I really like this angle, looking right down over the shoulder. I fish mostly off of the left side of the boat, which is why I have my rod holder and my fish finder over here on the right-hand side. I'm right-handed when I cast, so I throw over that way. It seems like the direction that I go most of the time, and then I fight fish and bring them to this side of the boat. It's keeping this side of the boat clear, and with everything sticking up on that side of the boat. That seems to work pretty well for me, but you know, your mileage may vary. So there it is. Those are all of the things that I've done so far, from the cart to the front gear track and bow mount, to the plug, to the rod holder, to the gear tie down, to the Lowrance Hook 2.5 fish finder. I've got my riser mounts for the seat to give me a little extra position. The big push was the Boondocks landing gear, and then of course the Yak Attack boom pole. So there you go, everybody. That's my boat. That's the things I've done to it so far. I don't think there's a whole lot of plans for any further modifications at this point. I think I've got it what I'm run it like this season. You know, of course, I think you'll add a few things here and there along the way. Maybe I'm looking for a slightly taller camera mount boom arm over here on the left side out front. That's about it. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do it. Just click that subscribe button, click the notifications bell. We'll keep making videos like this one. We're really excited to be making some on-water videos this year as well. As you can see, we've got the boat set up to do it. So some snakehead, some largemouth, maybe even go out some perch, and you never know what else we might do right here on the Chesapeake Bay. See you next time.